Are Bone Giants any good in patch 4.2? I say 4.2 because I'm revisiting the unit after some mild alterations made by recent patches to some mechanics, and I've done the unit way back, so I have some things to say, good and bad, but it is a good unit. It is held back from being a great unit. Recruited for... This is Tomb Kings, it's a unit cap system, so the building tax is in terms of the building required to get one. On Ultra, you get one for 12,620 health, very high up there, with 80 armor, 55 leadership, which is far from exceptional, speed 32, melee attack 30 to start with, receiving an attack interval of the standard 4, splash target size is large, only a maximum of 6 targets are damaged. The Chaos Giant has like 13. Melee defense is 28, which isn't unexpected but which isn't great. There will be much ankle biting from wolf rats. Weapon strength is given as 400 flat, split between 100 base and 300 armor piercing, and that is quite nice as ratios are concerned. Charge bonus is 20, and mass is a fairly beefy 6,500. Before going any further, this is a siege attacker, a construct, and inflicts both fear and terror. For range, ammunition starts at 20. Range is 350, very decent. Missile damage is listed as 562 and is magical attack, as in this is, melee is not. Each direct hit inflicts 90 base damage and 360 armor piercing, with a bonus versus large of 200. Moreover, each shot explodes, and this has 102 base damage and 66 armor piercing in a detonation radius of 6, which isn't spectacular considering it's just one fat shot, but still. Reload time is 11. The trajectory is ballista-like. Total accuracy is listed as 60 base, with a calibration distance of 325, and a calibration area of 4 within that distance. Penetration size cap is very large, and max targets penned is 20, at which point you'll finally get the explosion listed above. Here's the problem with that, which is easy to see in my videos. These stunning stats do not account for the animation of the shot and the relatively slow travel speed of the arrows. Now, they don't seem that slow, but when infantry are in a flattened out rectangle and running as fast as they can, or shambling as the case may be, you'll see these huge magical arrows hit where they were 3 seconds ago, not where they are now. Yes, they hurt when they hit, whether infantry or large targets, but for the latter, a direct hit is ideal. My point being, well, 2 things for this. Number 1, the arrows suddenly get very accurate when the target is not moving, so anything you can do to stop something in its tracks, like an armored tomb prince on the ground, let's say, suddenly makes these shots a lot more helpful. 2, the broadside of a Dread Saurian is still a valid target, and, well, yes, if you can slow things down enough, you can do a lot of things. If I'm to add 2 more, the fact this is magical attack means this has aged very well with so many demons in the game, making the Bone Giant potentially effective as support, if a little less against single entities because the rate of fire isn't enough to bring things down in time. Then as murder on cavalry and monstrous infantry, and something like Hess Wraiths are doubly vulnerable. On that note, the Tomb Kings get access to Lure of Light, as in, they get access to nets, and that's when things start crying out in agony. In the Cetra-style redline skills, Arrows of Asaph grant plus 20% ammunition and plus 8% missile strength, just like with basic archers. Similarly, Blessing of the Asp grants rank 7 Bone Giants plus 15% ammunition, plus 12% missile strength, and missile resistance 15%. If you're a Khalida player, you probably were aiming for these anyway. And I've got to say, 35% ammunition from the red line? That's not a feature in every faction. Now, will the Bone Giant have time to fire all that? That depends. In the tech tree, the second dynasty offers Bone Edifice, granting plus 5 melee defense and 5% ward save for Bone Giants. It's not much, but we'll take it. Now, for how you use Bone Giants beyond the tips I gave above, the fact they're only okay at actual brawling doesn't mean you won't regularly use them in that exact role just because you have no choice. If it's that or letting infantry get to your skeleton archers and cut them down to smaller bones, then you send the giants in. They'll disrupt, they'll send bodies flying, they'll damage low-tier infantry regularly, And in some ways, damaging less targets also means that the damage is more focused. The point is, they were never intended to dominate solo. They can't and they won't. They're there to support your melee troops with big stomping power, or supplement your archers, or tank and blob for the archers to shoot into. They are multi-role, and you must accept that they will never be pure and innocent waifs. They have to fight dirty. You have to be an opportunist with them and make sure your other bases are covered, since this isn't Vampire Coast. You can't field 14 of them, at least not without extreme levels of empire building. Point is, you need something that's going to stop the enemy for a while so you can shoot into it effectively, or everyone will be gnawing at your ankles like giant shoe toys. So you plan accordingly, and within those limitations, the Bone Giant's massive HP pool and half-decent leadership, they're there. The unit is an anchor, often standing when others do not. Treat it as a pillar of support. Past that, it comes down to specifics with lures and heroes, and especially if you have Necrotechs with you, which might make melee a little more viable, but hey, in the end, force them into melee if you need to, and have them keep shooting because you want to. You do what you have to do to win. It's not as clean as a marble palace, but oh well, this is Total War. Finally, if you really want to snipe without a conscience, get Ushabti with great bows. I'm not saying instead, I'm saying with. They complement each other, and in a pinch, the Bone Giant will take a few hits, and the Ushabti can clean things up off its back, knees, ankles, whatever, and those shots are far harder to dodge. Take care, and have fun showing Lords of Change that hovering in place is a really bad idea around gigantic bows.